boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect here. Well, not really live, because, well, I have a guest here, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello.
How's it going, everybody? Patrick Alexander here.
And once again, the other co-host I have from a couple weeks ago talking about the WrestleMania. We had a nice WrestleMania roundtable table and such. But today, in this crazy week, and not just pro wrestling, but also in pop culture, I feel like we needed to get into, well, all these other issues as well, because there are a plethora of issues. And let's talk about the big sports one here, and let's talk about UFC, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Uh,
guess. No, go
uh,
ahead.
all right, then. Well, you were talking about this earlier. Let's see. You want to get into this, Patrick? Because I got to, you know, let's see.
Sure. Because this is because a couple days ago, yeah, was it Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon, whatever it was, not long ago. Conor McGregor tweeted that, "Oh, hey guys, I'm retiring forever. I want to be young."
Yeah, said that, and then afterwards, the mountains of rumors that him going to the WWE started, including even been tweeted with the WWE stuff as well. If I can find them, I'll put it up on the stuff as well on the
Yeah,
says.
then he also started following like the McMahons, Triple H, and Becky Lynch on Twitter, but that could all be massive coincidence because Connor is a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and that is just hey, you know, but a lot of people, and I had some people joking that, yeah, Conor McGregor is gonna come in. I like one tweet saying Conor McGregor is just gonna come in and put over Roman Reigns. I'm like, bro, no, no, no. AJ, I can see everyone, but no. If Conor McGregor wanted to go to the WWE, he's getting the belt. Bottom line.
And even so, it's probably going to be if Connor has enough to have like screw you money and he wants to wrestle just for funsies. That's probably the only way because there's absolutely no way that WWE could pay Connor as much as the UFC was paying him, and how
Unless
much.
they do a Brock Lesnar type deal.
Even then, I don't think so because apparently like Connor was maybe on track to make 8 million on UFC 200.
Yeah, in fact, it says accordingly they're gonna make it took around $10 million about the whole fight and everything. That's a $10 million hit for Conor McGregor and such. That's like wow. I mean, he takes a $10 million hit because according to TMZ and such, they they were going to pull the fight, even though he's saying he wants to come back and such.
Yeah, it's all pretty much coming down to Conor was like saying, I don't want to promote this shit. I just want to train and fight. I'll do the big press conference in New York, but I ain't doing the commercials. I ain't doing, the press tour. I'm just doing that one thing. And Dana White is saying, no, you have to be doing this. You can't not do the press tour. You cannot skip out on our commercials.
Yep. And now, trust me, this stuff is right. They were mandatory. Exactly. He's shocked that, it's going to, you know, that all these type of things is going to is that I mean, could you imagine if he did? I mean, he's only 27 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's still fairly young. And if Conor McGregor wanted to, if he did go to say WWE, I wonder, this is a what if, can you build something around him? Would you dump Roman as the face as WWE, but would you put Conor McGregor? Even though he's basically, it would take him a couple years. I mean, let's be real. I think he would probably need some seasoning in NXT for a while. He would
Okay.
need, he would need to be in NXT for maybe 1, maybe 2 years to be really good, and then probably something like that. Because I think that would probably be personally that's how I would do it if he did want to do this. Because I just think that if he actually did want to do all this type of stuff, I don't want him just to throw him right into wolves because he might not be ready for it.
Yeah, that and hang on one sec. I want. And also another thing that would hold Connor back from wrestling, professional wrestling, is that Connor's not that. It's not a big dude. Because remember, he's technically the featherweight champion at 145, and he bulked up considerably to be 170.
Yeah,
But
and he's only 5'9", but could, but since he is probably one of the most popular, one of the most popular people in the UFC. What I mean, he would make a big splash, and I think he would be. I would put him in NXT. Would you put him in NXT if Conor McGregor did show up, or he would just be too big for NXT like AJ Styles was?
oh, I'd probably just put him in the performance center because I mean, because he's a fighter. He's done MMA and doing like pro wrestling is a totally different animal. And while like Matt Riddle has made the jump, and by all accounts he's doing pretty well down in Evolve, and I think he made the adaptation pretty quickly. I'm not sure how adaptable Connor is per se.
Yeah, and I know he has had the personality. I mean, you look at the press conference and such. He does have the personality
Right.
to
At the
do
very
this.
least, he could be a good manager, but even that'd be a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a thing because you have as just like with a high priced quarterback.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't just say okay, like for example, when when speaking of other sports, you had the Broncos had to they put all the money to bring in Peyton Manning a couple years ago. You're not going to bench him. You're not going to say the next guy up and everything. That's how the craziness with Brock Osweiler. You play the dude who is like you got to put him out there. You have to put the person out there who is like this huge money and who will bring eyes to your product, and that would be something. It would really bring, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it would be worth it to bring Conor McGregor to the WWE.
Yeah, no. Like
Yeah,
what I said, that if Connor wants to do it for fun, he will. But I don't think it's going to happen.
yeah, and honestly, if you want to be real, he'll probably, I think his character. I think honestly, right now he's in a better place because after what the WWE writers would do to him, he will probably he will, his Q rating will go even lower because they don't know how to write for anybody.
Well, that Connor would probably take one look at the supposed script and kill all the writers.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, they have 26 writers. By the way,
Oh, down from 28.
yeah, well, they're cutting down.
Yeah.
But yeah, if and by the way, comment below if you agree or disagree. But yeah, if Conor McGregor is not going to be a UFC 200, and you know, if he does want to go to WWE, I still think it'll be in NXT. It will take a while, but then again, if you do take like 1 or 2 years and such, how long that like big splash, that big oh my goodness, Conor McGregor's going to WWE. How many people will be still watching? If you put him in NXT, how many people will still watch? For like they want to see him on the main show, not the not the
Right.
not the minor leagues.
I mean, like we both said, there's no upside for Conor to be in the WWE, especially right now.
Yeah, and then you have Brock Lesnar there. You have, I mean, you have a lot of these guys, and again, some people would say sometimes you gotta, sometimes for big publicity you have to take the bitter pill. And with the W right now, I would not be surprised if they look at it that way. Like, you know what, we're not doing well. The ratings are shot.
Mm-hmm.
Our WWE Network, numbers are becoming very stagnant around in North America. This could bring those things up if Conor McGregor shows up and actually becomes a full
Yeah,
time competitor. That I mean, that's going to be you have to put that aspect as well.
yeah, and then maybe for like maybe for one match if Dana allows it. which I
Yeah,
doubt.
but if he's iced out from USC, well, but
Even
if he is iced out, what would you? What if Conor McGregor says he's not going to W? Who would else take him? I mean, Ring of
well,
Honor.
technically nobody, because apparently like UFC contracts with their like no compete clauses, it pretty much says once you're done for like either forever, I don't know the amount of time, but like you can't go to the other MMA promotions like Bellator. You can't actually go to pro wrestling like WWE. Like Brock and Matt Riddle are obviously exceptions, but that's like the boilerplate standard UFC contract as
But
far as I understand.
so you're done. You can't go anywhere else permanently. God, that's screwed
Well,
up.
I mean, not permanent. Like I said, I don't know
Yeah.
the actual amount of time. I'm sure there's amount of time, and I'm sure it's significant, but I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
permanent.
Yeah, again, he is only 27, and he's probably, and he's already got his money. He already has his championship. He already has, all these other things. In fact, he just tweeted, it says, quote, I got my bills paid, my money made, and the entire game slayed. So he's still, he's like, you know what? He's like, no move. He's like,
Yeah, but he's probably not going to have his championship if Dana's like, you know what? No, you can't. You're not coming back. You're stripping of the featherweight title.
well, then again, you have to wonder if he goes, who's going to be the next person in UFC. I think actually, call me crazy, but I think this is going to really help, say, Ronda Rousey, bump up in their eyes. Because if Conor McGregor, they get this thing and they just can't get this deal done, if this deal doesn't get done, don't be surprised if Ronda Rousey gets a higher Q rating and stuff, gets more popular in the UFC, and they're going to start pushing her more.
Yeah,
Or,
when
exactly. I would not be surprised by that. Would you
mm-hmm.
be?
And not really. Then again, it's still still quite some time before we can even think of seeing Ronda Rousey in the back in UFC with her movies, and I think she may still be reeling from that Holly
Holly
Holm fight.
Holm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but pretty much I think what we may see if nobody backs down from this Conor UFC standoff is a the probable return of George St. Pierre, and B the the actual CM Punk fighting in UFC for realsies this time.
yeah. I think that's gonna happen much quicker. And honestly, I wonder though. Speaking of Ronda Rousey and WWE, do you think they would have? I still wonder if they could have done that. Match between her and Stephanie, or her, Stephanie, and Triple H and The Rock, like an intergender tag match. I wonder if Dana would have been okay with that.
No,
Hmm. Or
yeah,
the,
that's pretty. I think that's pretty much it. Because I mean, like it's like soon after WrestleMania 31 was over, Dana gave an interview about like Ronda's appearance. It was like, yeah, that was fun, that was cool. She's one and done.
yeah,
That and then Ronda. At first, Ronda was going to film like Roadhouse around WrestleMania, the time frame for WrestleMania. Of course, that got delayed, and then
boom.
there was still the lingering after effects of Holly Holm. So
Yeah.
you know,
Then again, it could have been worse. She could have beat Holly Holm and then competed at WrestleMania and Stephanie beat her clean.
oh,
I now that well, which would actually be, well, here's something for you. Which would be more likely? Stephanie beating Ronda Rousey clean in the ring, clean as a sheet, no help for anyone. She beats Ronda Rousey clean. Or two, Conor McGregor losing to Roman Reigns clean. Which is the more likely event to happen?
oh, probably. God, I like to see both of them just because I'm giving you this awesome visual of Dana White choking on his own rage.
Or just the internet just imploding on itself?
But I would think that Ronda losing clean in the middle would be more likely. It wasn't going to happen, but because I mean, Ronda would be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm sure Conor would definitely be, oh, screw you guys
Yeah.
if they propose that. But Ronda's more like Ronda's saying is more like a company person than Conor. So I could see maybe Ronda just doing it for the good of the company.
Best what's best for business, even though it wouldn't be.
Right.
Okay. All right. That was a nice discussion. Next up, we're going to be talking. Well, we're going to continue on with the weird and wacky stuff. We're going to be looking at talking about the new Power Rangers film and all the pictures. That's the new pictures of Rita Repulsa as Elizabeth Banks takes on that role. We're talking about that after we have a little break for some OC remix. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for Patrick once again for being here.
Happy to be here.
And well, the Power Rangers film with the generic logo, which I have no problem with the logo, looks is fine. But this right here from Tuesday again, Elizabeth Banks debuts as Rita Repulsa. What do you think? It doesn't look like Rita, more like Scorpina, if you want to be.
Yeah, I've heard like some of my friends saying, that looks more like Scorpina. And wife says that the what Elizabeth Banks is wearing as Repulsa, it's not a bad costume.
No, I think it's actually a good and
Yeah.
some and actually I think it's really it does fit say a more serious type of thing. As much as I like Rita's costume, it's a little too opera, just like she's like too garish and such. And I would stand like cutting that down.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I have a problem with is that there's no like links between like the movie Repulsive and the TV show
Yeah,
because the colors are totally different. Uh, Elizabeth Banks doesn't have like any horns or hints of horns, and quite frankly, there's nothing that links the movie to the TV series based on appearance.
yeah, and that's the thing as well. I mean, she looks a little like again Scorpina with a little bit of Divatox, if you remember that Power Ranger villain from the probably one of the worst of the early Power Rangers, series Power Rangers Turbo. They're generally probably one of the worst. I guess she was the one that destroyed the command center, which I'm like, I'm sorry. That's like giving, speaking of wrestling, it's like basically having the League of Nations be the ones to say like take down the evil, like say the Authority or something like that. That's just like no, or
Well, good
something
thing
like that.
But it's a good thing you broke it down to me like that, because I mean I built on Power Rangers like oh like a couple of years into this run, like probably the end of the first iteration of Power Rangers.
Yeah. Then again, there's some people are still pissed at Power Rangers because, the whole, have like, well, Saturday gets canceled because of. I'm like, no, man, I don't blame that on Power. It was a competition. The best thing won, and both, hey, these things happen. And personally, I think if they would have wanted to save the show, I think they should have moved the show away from the juggernaut that was Power Rangers. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, this does not look like I understand maybe there's some people say maybe that's the green suit she's wearing might power the Green Power Ranger if they really wanted to do that, which I don't think they're gonna do that for the first movie. I'd be like cramming way too much. If they,
Yeah,
I think they should do that for a sequel personally.
maybe. I just love like Elizabeth Banks reply to the film Renegado's like tweets saying, or film Renegado's like, why is Rita Repulsa green? And Elizabeth Banks retweeted or said, yes, why indeed?
Wow. Honestly, maybe they're trying to build up some mystique for the film, and again, this reminds me. If you ever saw this documentary, about the Superman, yeah, it was about the Superman movie that Tim Burton never really made.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
you remember? Did you see that documentary?
No,
Um,
but I mean, I know like enough of the story. Tim Burton directing, Nicolas Cage with Superman stuff.
Yeah, let's see. What was it called? Oh, The Death of Superman Lives. It's it's um it's somewhere. It's you can find it somewhere. It's really good. I highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about how it was made, and then you see the picture of what that picture of what the unfinished Superman was. You know what I'm talking about, picture I'm talking about, right? Him just this half open Nicolas Cage with a half open like this thing about the whole Superman thing. I was like, people really judged that movie before it really got out because of that. And I think that's the same thing. People were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be terrible" and such. I'm like, just I say this could be something really good if you give this a chance and give it a little. I think hopefully, I know it doesn't look. I really think the outfit. I understand you want to do something, change and be something different. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah,
can't be some things you can't do a one-on-one translation.
yeah, yeah. Like I've always said, like I don't care if something is totally faithful when you're adapting something. I care about the spirit. If the spirit is in the new thing you're doing, if it's the spirit's in the adaptation, then everything else usually kind of falls into place. And I don't sense a spirit with Rhea's,
Rita.
yeah, costume.
Yeah, well, personally, honestly, I don't think she should have been there anyway. I would honestly, call me crazy, but if did you see the Wiz, the NBC, the Wiz thing live? It was on December 3rd.
No.
Did you see it? I
Mm-mm.
honestly think Mary J. Blige, who played Eveline, she played this. I think this was. I was like, wow. She played the villainous Eveline and such. And I'm like, you know what? She had that. You have to look at that. You have to, um, you know, you gotta look at what she. Oh, you have to really look of what she did in the NBC. She really looked. I'll give you a picture of what it is about it. I will show you the picture, a link in the description about what Eveline. I'm like, this person looks just the way she was acting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this person looks like Rita Repulsa. I felt like she was over the top. She was, bombastic. She was clearly evil, but she had that swagger, that cheesiness. But you could take her seriously, but just ultimately laugh at her when she's like, when Rita's like, she failed, and like she's like, oh, I got a headache. Like, I can't do the how that scene just like, I got a headache. I can't do it. I just, I just can't. I look at Elizabeth Banks. I just don't see her being that over the top type of, you know,
I don't know.
bombastic. I hope she can.
I think she can because she was, pretty over the top and bombastic in the Hunger Games movie, in the especially the first Hunger Games movie.
Oh, she was the
She was Ellie Trinket, the one with the hair and the
Oh yeah.
makeup.
Oh yeah. She was. Yeah, she was definitely bombastic. She was that, and hopefully, I think she can. Hopefully, she could bring something of that as well.
Hmm.
I think it could be because I still think that Eveline, I will definitely show pictures of that, and and the pictures of that because she really did just. I've imagined like that. Seriously, this should be her getting the the role, but hopefully she can do that. And yeah, I think that's something we have to look into. I know it looks silly, but again, I'm just waiting until the movie, at least until the trailer hits.
Hmm.
I wonder what type of theme they're gonna be going for, because honestly, this could be probably if this works, you might see more maybe more tokusatsu shows. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right.
Uh,
Tokusatsu shows.
that's I think it's close enough to the. If it's not right, then it's really close.
Tokusatsu shows, meme made into films and such. I mean, you know, yeah, there's plenty of Kamen Rider, a lot of versions of that online. I think there's a lot of people who love that series, so maybe they can do the whole bring that thing in the United States. It's weird because what's selling right now in the whole besides superhero films is the young adult um the young adults like taking over the city type thing, and I'm like, Power Rangers fits this to a T. If you switch some of the stuff up, bam, it's young adult, just for kids and for young adults and such you can glom onto. But also they have giant mechs they can fight. So yeah, I think this could really work. I think if they fit in that type of demographic, if they really want to go for it.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows?
Oh well, yeah, it could be, or it could be probably one of the worst things since Transformers. But but anyway, well, I just let's hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this next up is the last story because well, honestly, this is gonna be well. Speaking of preparing for the worst, next up we're talking about is total nonstop action, and well, oh boy, we got a lot of things to talk about
Where
there.
to begin?
Oh yes, we'll talk about this right after this song from OC Remix. Something I'm gonna play a little something cheerful, so hopefully you'll like that, and we'll be back, and we'll be getting to that more and stuff and more here live, not live, recorded on the Duke CT Lounge. And we are back with Patrick Alexander. Say hello.
Still here.
And the Duke CT Lounge as well. So, anyway, let's talk a little TNA, shall we? Oh boy.
Yep.
Well, I thought it couldn't get any worse of the TNA, the failings of Total Nonstop Action. As I said last show, if you all know about the last show, is oh my goodness, they were kicked out of their old home in Tennessee, and then next putting into guess where, a warehouse, their shop, TNA shop's warehouse, and I'm not kidding you, ladies and gentlemen, this warehouse is right next to a landfill.
Oh my, yeah, no, somebody like one of the forums that I frequent when the movie to the warehouse first came out. Somebody actually um put up like a Google Maps of where the warehouse is.
Yes, and I think it's from freaking Austin Network, by the way, forums.
Mm.
That's where I got mine from. And such. I saw this. I was like, I have to talk about this because, geez Louise, that's just wow. And then even more sad,
Mm.
you had, oh goodness gracious, you had the TNA ad reports
Oh
these
God.
days that, ladies and gentlemen, we're not making any of this up, is that the TNA Impact generated 18,414 in ad revenue, which is less than half of its David's Our Lives leading. So let's get this clear. TNA Impact Wrestling makes less ad revenue than an old soap opera.
Not only that, like it costs like what three around $350 for to get a 30-second ad on Impact.
I'm actually tempted to actually put something up there. In fact, people on the forum I go to Free Austin Network, they're tempted to do something about that too. To actually have like Josh Matthews in his terrible voice actually say something about positive about the freaking Awesome Network forums. I'm tempted to do that too, because but then again, I don't want to burn 335 dollars to get a 30-second ad. Part of me wants to, part of me doesn't. Because I want to have that remaining TNA audience to watch? Well, that's watch my shows. Do I want to have that type of audience here? Uh, uh
Probably not.
yeah. But then again, that could be something interesting. I could be a part of the whole Fall of TNA book that Brian Alvarez is supposedly writing.
Oh no! Somebody actually asked Brian during like one of the Wrestling Universe radio shows. He was like, "I don't wanna write. I don't wanna."
Well, you said you were gonna do it, and I'm like,
Well,
well,
yeah, but basically what he's saying is, that the WCW still really well because WCW was this
popular.
big company and TNA is wasn't.
Well, sadly, TNA Impact Wrestling has lasted longer and was on air longer than not only Nitro, but also ECW as well. So,
Or even the entirety of WCW.
yeah, the entirety of WCW, Nitro, all that stuff, TNA Impact has chugged along. Uh, and you know what? It's not even in that stuff here. And guess what? Where supposedly Slammiversary is supposedly going to be held in.
Where?
Orlando in the Impact Zone.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something like really wacky, like they were going to do Slammiversary in their warehouse.
I would not be surprised. This thing. But if you can honestly, and then you have Christy Hemme leaving, which I thought she left last year.
Well,
But
she did, and then she came back because she was going to work a lighter schedule. Then she left again, today or
yeah,
yesterday, whatever it was.
yeah, yesterday. And then we have this story. Oh, and especially, guess what? It was on a Tuesday. My gosh. And supposedly Dave Meltzer, and this is a quote from CageSideSeats.com, says, quote, the current situation, TNA, it's right here. And I quote, they clearly need to make a deal to get some money in because they don't have any money. That's been obvious for a while. Financially, it's really bad. You wouldn't believe how bad it is. When I say they're out of money, they're out of money. That and honestly, that would be bad enough.
Hmm.
But guess supposedly is actually talking to deals, special buyers or partners in TNA. A company called Aerolux.
Aerolux is how, at least, how I keep hearing it
Aerolux,
pronounced.
a
Yeah.
company led in part by the Harris brothers.
Yeah.
And if you haven't known anything about the Harris brothers, they, well,
Well,
uh,
let's say this. They've been perennial jokes of wrestlers since the late '80s. It only makes sense that they're going to buy a perennial joke of a company.
even more so, they have supposedly wear a lot of images wearing, supporting, well, having Nazi tattoos. And in one case, one of them, the Harris brothers, actually went on the early TNA beginnings of it, actually wore an SS shirt.
Yeah, and I actually see a picture of that shirt, and it's more like how Kiss the band had how they stylized their S's in their logo, and people were like up and up saying, "Well, that looks like a Nazi swastika."
A Nazi symbol. Yeah, the
Yeah,
SS.
it was like that. But the thing is, Kiss Kiss kind of makes sense because Kiss the word has two S's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why a Harris twin, I forget which one, it doesn't really matter anyways, would wear like an SS shirt.
Yeah. And right on TNA, it was TNA pay per view, which honestly, I guarantee those were the days where they had pay per views and such, when they couldn't have a TV deal, which I guarantee you, those TNA old school pay per views still probably got more buys than the pay per views they had now or will somehow have this year, which I doubt. I don't know what the buy rates of TNA pay per views
Yeah, I
are.
think, I mean, the pay per view business is dead. I think, like, when they first started out, they were getting, like, maybe 10 or 15,000 buys. I think that's what I heard. I could very easily be wrong,
Then
but
again, UFC and is doing great in the pay per view buys and such, and but then again, it's gotten so bad that pay per views were on YouTube, and they're on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, and you can watch them right now. I had my reviews were actually up, and they haven't been taken down by TNA. Which, funny enough, that's how I got all the start. My old review, my old TNA Genesis review back in 2010. That's why I started posting my reviews on Blip.com and everything. Because TNA shut them down. Like, nope, you can't talk about this stuff. Now it seems like I can do that with TNA
well, they
wrestling.
probably can't afford lawyers.
Oh goodness! But even worse about this. I mean, could you imagine now supposedly the Harris brothers, well, are now supposedly are neo Nazis going to buy TNA, which at this point, I just can't actually believe this is actually, it feels like this is just one long Cards Against Humanities type game. And
Yeah, yeah, no, cause and then okay, and assuming that that Airlocks buys TNA, because I mean the main sticking point is Dixie still wants Dixie Carter, the sole board member of TNA, still wants majority control, and Airlocks is saying no, we want majority control.
so TNA is going to be controlled by a very ditzy, ignorant, honestly a scummy business money mark in Dixie Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I say scummy because all the crap she did with Jesse Sorensen and all these other stuff that she were a part of, yeah, that's I'm really pissed at. I'm still pissed at her. That versus two neo Nazis. I
Yeah,
mean it's
yeah. Of course, word of the street is that Dixie Source was talking to a couple other people, but Aerolux is the front runner. I mean, they flat out paid for the latest set of TV tapings. At least the TV tapings that are going on right now. They may have paid for the last set of TV tapings too.
and here's the real crazy thing. What would you get if they actually did buy it? You have
Basically,
not, I mean, a paid programming TV slot to a channel devoted to soap opera reruns, which, by the way, the soap opera reruns bring more ad money than your product, which you got. A pile of t-shirts that never sold and will only have charitable donations to a third world country. a tape library that honestly is the only people who want to watch that old tape library is probably like WWE will have Sting, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and pretty much that's all you have for it. And honestly, and probably one of the worst names for a professional wrestling company.
Yeah, I
Total
mean,
Nonstop Action. What would you get from this?
pretty much you're only really getting, the television deals in America, in England, in India, and apparently TNA is going to be in the FX Middle East starting in May. That's really the value, and of course, and you're probably going to get Braum with that as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, at this point, I mean, what is the positive for TNA at this?
Like I said, I mean, and I
I,
think it's really just because they still have something that resembles television. Because I mean, you can see Ring of Honor still kind of struggling to get a network that would actually support them on a national level.
and that pisses me off because I think Ring of Honor, regardless of how I feel about their way to handle their matches, sometimes
Mm,
I feel like they should get a big time spot. I mean, I heard
yeah,
Spike TV wants to do something, but then they're locked in with what the deal they have with Sinclair Broadcasting. They're locking that, so they have to be on that loser network that you
yeah,
know that no one has.
yeah,
And they have
Comet.
to, yeah, Comet.
Yeah.
They have to have Jay Lethal's show, like some stuff for senior citizens. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that stuff.
about that, and I mean, of course, Jeff Jarrett's been trying for God knows how long to get like a TV deal for,
GFW, Global
yeah,
Force Wrestling.
and then with his pyramid gold scam scheme thingy,
Yeah. Um, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a Patreon or a Kickstarter.
or
No, no,
Indiegogo.
scratch that. I said this in my previous podcast, and I think it's going to happen. TNA Wrestling is going to do a Kickstarter. I honestly think they're going to do a Kickstarter. No joke. I think that Dixie Carter's going to get some people saying, like, listen, listen, you good TNA fans. Dixie Carter here. We need your help to stay afloat. You know we have these great wrestlers and talents and such, and these mean people online has been saying all those negative things, Sug. So I need you to help me pay a little bit of money. And if you can pay a little, like $10, $15, you get like a free T-shirt and that sort of thing. And we'll give you for $20, you have Josh Matthews call you and say you're doing a good job. For $100, I'll call you, and not only that, I'll give you a signed little uh, Dixie doll for you. And of course, you know what happened? They'll probably make $1 billion from Kickstarter, and I'll just be a sad person. That's what's usually it's honestly, I wondered how many L's they could have in this company, but they just keep catching them. L, and then every other week, it's just an L every other week. Uh,
Yeah.
but speaking of things that are unfair, TNA has all these chances, but yet something like a company like Shikara, who
Mhm.
would do great business, who is for family entertainment, and actually could do the PG stuff better than the WWE on some occasions, that still hasn't got a TV deal.
Yeah, but then again, with Shikara, do they even like want to go on TV? Because like there's a few promotions that are just fine doing like pay-per-views and selling DVDs of their shows, like PWG and Evolve.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, I really think they should. I mean, I really think it would be just better because I think Spike TV supposedly wants to get back into the wrestling game. I heard after they got that bad taste of TNA from their mouths, they want to get back in the game, trying to talk to. I think they were talking to the NWA a couple of months
Mm-hmm.
back. Um, I wonder if they have anything about that because I really want something other. I don't want just WWE stuff. I don't want that a complete another monopoly again. But I have lost all trust with Total Nonstop Action. I
Yeah,
lost.
like that's a you know. like 2005 to 2006, TNA was actually, really good. And then it kind of like sputtered a little bit. And then when they got Hogan and Bischoff, it just fell off a cliff.
Honestly, and I'm honestly, from behind the curtain here, ladies and gentlemen. If they do die this year, I was actually planning to do the first pay per view I've ever watched as a review, ladies and gentlemen, of a review of probably one of the first and actually best TNA shows back in 2006. It was TNA Against All Odds, 2006, and it was the first pay per view I bought from, and I was like, wow, this was amazing. And I was like, man, this is to me, I was like, this was everything I wanted you know, everything I wanted in a wrestling show and more. Everything from Abyss versus, Abyss. I think it was. Wait a second. What? Let me look at this again. You had the Naturals. Yeah, it was. Oh, wait a second. It wasn't. Let's see, was it? Oh yeah, it was Jay Lethal's big match with Bentley. Remember him? Alex
Nope.
Shelley, Petey Williams, a four-way match. It was fun. The James Game defeated was stuff like that. America's Most Wanted. Really good matches with both Chris Harris and James Ward, where Chris Harris became a walking joke. Rhino and Abyss in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which was highly underrated. It was really, really good. Yeah, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels in a three-way dance to retain the TNA X Division Championship match. And let me tell you, that was great as well. You had, Team 3D take out Team Canada. And then you have Christian Cage beating Jeff Jarrett to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just really good. I really did love the show. And I was like, man, I was like, it felt like very real. They were just something I really, really wanted to get. Like, this is a company I really want to get back behind. And then around 2008 and 2009 and 10, I was like, yeah, I just shook my head. I had hope for it for sometimes. I mean, heck, I was still trying. I actually was still rooting for in 2014 when they were in was it Destination America?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honest. No, wait a second. They weren't Destination America.
Well, oh no.
No,
2015, they moved to
Spike.
Destiny.
That were
Yeah.
the Spike, and honestly, it was the start of Lashley just killing everyone. Eric Young as champ was good. He had some good matches and such. A lot. He had Slammiversary had a much better main event than previous ones. I was like, wow, this is. I was really getting a good vibe from it. And then it just since the move to Destination America, they just made everything wrong. And it sucks. It sucks because I really wanted to love this company, and at this point, I just don't know what type of future it holds because at this point, I think it's going to be it's slowly. I mean, it's not slowly dying. I think it is. I think it's on its last legs at this point. And then if someone does buy it,
Yeah.
the name, the product right now is so toxic. It's as
Mm-hmm.
bad, if not worse, than NXT was when it was the divas and everything. We remember that. It needs a total rehab. I mean, it needs like 2, maybe 3 years of rehab before we actually start taking it seriously again.
That's if the new owners, if somebody actually does buy it, if Aerolux actually does buy it,
But then
because
again, there's still the neo-Nazi thing, and
but
hopefully they don't buy it. They get someone with common sense, kick Dixie Carter out, make some really good booking decisions, um, change the name at this point. They need to change the name. They need to change it to something more. TNA needs to die. I mean, that name needs to go away. Bring in something more of a positive name that's actually more marketable because the name, the brand is toxic at this point, and just try to get some good and decent booking and try to make shows that are not offensive to the eyes at this point. and make
Yeah,
it.
I mean, but basically, what my feeling is that Airlocks buys it, then they turn around and sell it to either Vince McMahon or Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, and if Vince, I think at this point Vince probably wouldn't touch it as well because it's just too of a negative stigma. Jeff Jarrett might buy it just to get GFW again,
Hmm.
and might just put GFW there instead of TNA.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Vince would probably just buy the tape library if he does buy anything off of it.
I think if Jeff Jarrett does buy, he like I said, he's gonna use it for the
Right,
TV to get GFW.
right,
And
right.
honestly, I think that would be a best decision for everyone involved because at least Global Force Wrestling, it's a better name. It has a much more, but it's much more. You know, you can bring in people, endorsements there have been saying it's tits and ass wrestling. I'm like, ugh, you know, that's just terrible. Here's hoping. Like I said, here is hoping that Global Force Wrestling takes that spot and something. But that's just me.
Yeah, this is all just speculation.
Yeah,
But I mean, they gotta do something like now.
they should have done something a couple years ago, but yeah. Anyway, that's the show, and well, we had a long, long bit of dialogue, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and thanks once again for Mr. Patrick Alexander for joining me.
Always happy to be here.
All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Duke CT here. Peace, love. I will see y'all when I see y'all, and don't worry, the live show is coming back next week, and also the last year standing review of WrestleMania 32 will hopefully happen next week as well. You know, hopefully, if I survive. But anyway, thanks again for being here, and catch you later. Peace.